today we're going to talk about complete factorization. Alright, this lesson is basically just factoring but using a bunch of different methods that we learned. Alright, the first thing you always want to do when you're factoring a trinomial is look for a greatest common factor if you have something in the A spot. So in this, I do. So I'll do my factor tree. And that's what I get. Now, I can look at this and know it's 3. I'm just working the whole thing out. So here I have 1 times 3. Here I have 2 times 3. Here I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. So this has a 3, this has a 3, this has a 3. Everything else is not common. So I divide everything by 3. And I put it on the outside. So now I divide this by 3 and I get 1x. Divide this by 3 and I get negative 2x. Divide this by 3 and I get negative 80. So now we're going to factor it. I'm going to move this up here. Now we're just going to leave that 3b, put it out front, put my parentheses down below. The next step is I need to find out what goes inside. So I know an x and an x are going to go there. I have a negative in the back and a negative in the middle. That means I'm having a positive and a negative. My bigger number is going to be negative. So now I need the factors of 80. 1 and 80, 2 and 40, 4 and 20, 5 and 16, 8 and 10. All right, I need to find out which two of those multiply together to get 80 and then combine to get 2. And I know it's 8 and 10. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. So which is going to be my larger number, the 8 or the 10? The 10, because that's negative in the middle. And that is my answer. Always look for the greatest common factor first. All right, example number 2. I'm going to look for a greatest common factor because something in my A is larger than 1. So I get 5 and 5 here. Here I get 2 and 50, 2 and 25, and 5 and 5. So 5 times 5, and 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. So 5 and 5, 5 and 5. So 5 and 5 is my greatest common factor. I multiply that together to get 25. So I need to divide 25 by 25, which gives me 1, and 100 by 25 to give me 4. And that is just taking out the greatest common factor. Now, I need to simplify this down. Which, if you go back to special cases, there's a negative in the middle and a perfect square root in the back. I know it's going to be plus 2. And minus 2. And that is my answer for this one. All right, the first thing you always want to do is put it in order from descending from your highest power to your lowest power. So my highest power is the negative 4x, then the 8x, or the negative 4x squared, and the 8x, and then just the constant. Always put it in order first before you try to factor it. So now I'm going to look for my greatest common factor. So this gives me 2 times 2. It's 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 2 times 2. So 2's, there we go. 2 times 2 is 4. Now, when your lead coefficient has a negative with it, always take the negative out of it with it. It'll just make your life easier in the end. Alright, you want to get that lead coefficient as low as you can and positive, if you at possible. So then I divide negative 4 by negative 4, and that gives me x squared. Again, if this is negative, always take the negative out with it. Negative 4 divided by 8 gives me negative 2x. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 gives me positive 1. So put it in order and make sure you take the negative out with it. Alright, now we're going to factor, and this is a simple enough one. And we'll simplify it even further down. So whenever you have the same two binomials, combine them and make it squared. All right, our last example, we can see it's already in order, but my lead coefficient is something other than 1. So I'm going to try to find the greatest common factor if there was one. Sometimes there's not a greatest common factor in the trinomial, so then you just go about your business as usual. In this case, because you can just look at it and know 5 is going to be your highest one. But for fun's sake, we'll do it out. So I get 1 times 5, 1 times 2 times 3 times 5. And then 5 times 3 times 3 times 3. I'm zoning out. I should have done the 1 there. So this has a 5, 5, and 5. Nothing else in common. So I'm going to take a 5 out of it. Now my 5 is positive, so I don't need to take a negative out of it. So 5 divided by 5 just gives me an x to the 4th left over. 5 divided by negative 30 gives me negative 6x squared. 5 divided by negative 135 gives me 27. Now we need to factor it out. So the 5 stays outside. Break it into two separate things, x squared and x squared. I know one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative because the back number is negative and the middle number is negative. That gives me a positive and negative. Now, I need to look at the factors of 27. And that's it. So can I combine 1 and 27 in any way to get negative 6? No. Need 3 and 9. Which is going to be my negative number? Because that's negative, it's going to be my larger number. All right, it's not done though. I can still factor out more. You might say, how are you going to do that? You just factored. Well, the 5 and the x squared plus 3 can't be factored anymore. But this can. X and x plus 3 minus 3. So there you go. You need to factor it all the way out. So the final answer to this is 5 times parentheses x squared plus 3, parentheses x plus 3, parentheses x minus 3 is your final answer. Always make sure it's factored completely out. All right, this has been complete factorization. Hope it helps and good luck.